What's up, everybody? Welcome to live composing here on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so glad to be with you here today. So, if I look like I am out of breath, it's because I am, because the quarantine season is not over yet. Kids are still at home, and I have to rush around, but that's okay because that's what it's all about. And another fun little development here. I have a brand new microphone stand here. This is the Rode PSA-1, which can swivel up and down, which is just flipping amazing. And I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I've been wanting this mic stand for a very long time. I actually ordered it. Fun story. I ordered this thing, a month ago, and it was on back order because of the quarantine. Hardware is almost impossible to get right now, anything audio related or camera related, which are the two things I'm trying to improve with my live streams. And lo and behold, it was on back order, couldn't find it anywhere. And then a few days ago, it was on Amazon and it was in stock. So I jumped on it and got that sucker. And so really excited. So I don't know what it is. Uh-oh, you're saying my audio is panned? That's bizarre. Let me fix that. Thank you for mentioning that. That's an OBS thing. Properties. That's probably worth fixing. Aha. How about now? Testing 1, 2, 3. Is that better? Let me know if that fixes it. So let me explain what's going on and why that mistake just happened. Well, about a month ago, a little backstory here today. About a month ago, I wanted to try out Twitch. I've dabbled with Twitch a little bit over the last year or so, but I wanted to really give it a shot to see, okay, how will you guys, as my audience, how will you respond to Twitch? And is that something that's going to serve you well? And I did experiment with it, and I gotta be honest, I loved it. I really, really loved it because there's a lot of cool custom things you can do with Twitch. You can have custom emotes or emojis for your subscribers. You can have sub tiers. You can have highlights and do clips of your streams. What else can you do? I mean, there's just so much you can do. You can raid other streamers at the end of your stream, and that stuff is really fun. And as a streamer, it's actually more engaging, and I just think it's so much fun. However, there are a few really important features that you miss out on as well that are just deal breakers for me. I learned that your videos only stay up for 14 days. And even if you are a Twitch partner, which is like their ultimate level once you've streamed for a long time, even once you're a partner, they only stay up for 60 days. And for me and what I do here on YouTube, that's just a deal breaker because I love that you guys get to watch the replays of these videos in the future. You get to watch these a month from now or a year from now. And just the content that I'm making here, which is live composing for real projects. A lot of you guys love to go back once the soundtrack releases. And how cool is it that we have this archive, this documented journey that we have from start to finish of a project. And right now I'm working on 2 really large soundtracks. I'm working on Monster Sanctuary, which is a 2D video game by Moirai Games. And then I'm also simultaneously working on the Boar Night soundtrack, which is a musical theater podcast. It's an audio drama, complete with Disney-esque Broadway-style songs. And I'm working on both at the same time, so I'm more or less alternating Tuesdays and Thursdays, just kind of knocking them both out at the same pace. And that seems to have been a really enjoyable thing for you guys. So I'm so glad that you're here. And I just think it's going to be a lot of fun as we continue to document this journey, so long as obviously the developers and the project creators are cool with it, which these 2 creators are very cool with it and sometimes jump in here on the stream. So all that to say, I tried out Twitch and it was fun, and it was, I think, more fun as a streamer, but not as accessible and doesn't have the quality of life that you guys come to expect with what I do here. And so YouTube it is, here and forevermore. And I'm so glad you guys are here. And probably the biggest deal breaker I forgot to mention is that while you guys are watching this right now, at any point you can rewind. That's something that you can't do on Twitch. Everything's live, which has its benefits, of course, but for the kind of content I make, which is very progressive, where I show you the process of how I create tracks, it makes sense that you guys would want if you jump in an hour into a stream, that you would maybe jump back to the beginning to hear the intro and maybe just kind of skip along. Because let's be honest, it's not always the most fun thing in the world to watch every little step if you don't have the time. If you have the time, come hang out. It's going to be fun. But I also understand that we live in a world that you just don't have 2 or 3 hours, once or twice a week. So I totally understand, and I'm here to serve you in that way better. So hopefully you guys agree, and this is going to be a better strategy moving forward. And I'm pumped that today we're working on Monster Sanctuary. We're working on 3 new tracks. Actually just finished up a couple more this week, and this is a really funny scenario where this soundtrack, when I first got brought onto the project, I thought I might only be writing 1 or 2 pieces of music. And then that turned into like 3 or 5, and then 7, 9, 12, 15, 20. And here we are. I've completed the entire game of original music, but here we are now in discussion about how can we replace some of the original tracks that were not composed by me, that were composed by different people, outsourced. And how do we make this a uniform soundtrack? And so that's the goal here today, is kind of here at these last stages of the project. I don't imagine there being a whole lot more tracks after this, because it's a pretty large soundtrack. It's a huge game, as many of you know, as you've played it. But yeah, and I want to respond to Antelope, who says, you can always download the video on demand and mirror it onto your YouTube channel as an archive, or potentially multi-streams that you use Twitch mainly, but YouTube streams it too and keeps the video. I don't like that idea, because what I've learned about multi-streaming is you divide your audience, and it doesn't serve anybody, because YouTube and Twitch culture are totally different. And I want to make sure that if I'm going to pick one and dig my heels into it and go 100%, and clearly, if you've watched my growth here on YouTube, it has shot up like a rocket over this year. And I know exactly why. It's because I'm consistent. It's because I'm putting up quality videos every week, and I'm doing live streams every week. And there's something about that consistency that people want to be a part of. And obviously we're growing a community here. So I feel the need to pick one over the other. And that's why I wanted to test both. And of course there are others out there. There's Facebook Live, there's Instagram Live, there's Mixer. But I feel like YouTube is my home, and it's where you guys hang out. And it just makes the most sense to continue that ecosystem. And even though Twitch allows you to highlight your clips to keep them forever, it's so cumbersome, and it takes forever, and you don't have any kind of searching options. So yeah, I've thought this through, and I've tried both ways, and I'm excited that we can just dig our heels into YouTube and do it justice. So I hope you guys feel that I'm going 100% and not holding anything back. And as I continue to improve these streams, I hope that you guys will comment with your any preferences that you have, or any features you might want to see down the line. But anyway, let's write some music, shall we? I have a big slate here today. 3 tracks. Whew, that's a lot, but I feel pretty confident about this. So right now, let's open up the Cubase session here. I just rewrote a track for Keeper Stronghold. So for those of you who've played the game, that's the main hub area, and it's where it's like the main area that connects all of the other areas. This actually has nothing to do with the stream today, but you might just want to hear it as more people are piling in here. Let's listen to this track that I just finished this morning. Isn't that so pretty? So that track, just explain that for a second. That was a track that developers were asking to replace the current one, because the current one is very whimsical is probably a good word for it. It's a little goofy. And so I feel like this one here, much more stately and regal and very chill and relaxing, calm, right? And I feel like that is necessary for a track we're going to hear on loop many, many times. So I think that's cool. So let's move on to Snowy Peaks. So Snowy Peaks, interesting story about this track. This track, if you've played the game, you know that the Snowy Peaks, I should just play it. Let me pull this out. I don't want to spoil the whole soundtrack here, but the original track is actually from the publisher. And hey, what's up, Gory? Welcome to the chat. The original Snowy Peaks track was from the publisher Team 17. It's the only track on the entire soundtrack not composed by myself, Peter, or Dennis. And Dennis is one of the game devs. And the discussion was, hey, can we replace this track so that we own it? I mean, that's just the truth. They want to own all of the tracks on the soundtrack, and that's the agreement we came up with. And it was a good arrangement to do it that way. I totally support that decision. You don't want, in my opinion, you don't want the publisher to own all the music. You want the either composer to have all the rights or the developer to have all the rights. When the publisher gets involved, then they have, the strong arm. They could do whatever they want with it, which is not a very good situation for the creatives in the process. Anyway, so they hired me to write a new Snowy Peaks. So here's the original. You might recognize this if you've played the game. It's very pretty. Very pretty. We hear is a lot of flute, a lot of piano, a lot of strings, and it's in a 6/4 time or a 6/8 time. So what it is, I took that idea and ran with it, and I did very similarly. I wrote something in 6/8 time featuring piano as the main, but I wanted it to be a little bit darker and more adventurous, more like a mountain, because if you've played the game, you're literally scaling a mountain, trying to get to the top of it, and there's ice everywhere, and it's a really beautiful terrain, lots of ice enemies that you fight. And so I wanted to do that. So what we're doing here today is just this morning I submitted this track and developers like it, but they want me to add just probably 4 bars worth of material at the end to create a more seamless, calmer loop. So let's listen to what we have so far. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Yeah, thanks for the dab there. Let's play what we have so far. Preferably without the skips. There it is. All right, there we go. So first of all, let's acknowledge a few people that just entered the chat. Welcome, Peter. He's one of the greatest humans alive. He's a fantastic composer. He's actually my co-composer on this soundtrack. Here at the very end, now that we're doing a few redo tracks, his contract with me has actually ended. However, he's contributed significantly to this soundtrack. So any of like the really jazzy, fusiony, funky bass kind of stuff that you hear, like the rock elements, that's all him. So he's done an amazing job on the soundtrack. And he just gave me a heart for a sweet chord in the middle of it. Yeah. I use my D flat major 7 chord there at the end. And welcome Nicholas, welcome Marcelo, Will. So glad you guys are here. And thank you. I know that one of you shouted out about the Westworld competition. I think it ended yesterday, and that's been a huge traffic booster to my channel. That was a lot of fun to do. So thank you guys for probably, I assume you've watched the replay of my live streams of how I wrote that film score. But welcome to the live chat. And just a quick note, Marcelo, Nightbot, I totally forgot to turn off the crazy spam alert thing. I just fixed it while that track was playing, so that won't happen again. So sorry about that. But if you were watching at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about how I just made the switch from Twitch to YouTube, and I was getting all the OBS settings transferred over yesterday while preparing for all this, and so I forgot that Nightbot does not transfer. You actually have to change your settings for Twitch versus YouTube, but it's all good. It's all up to date now, so thanks. And thanks. It's a fun little piano arrangement. So here's what we got to do here today with Snowy Peaks. I want to add 4 bars at the end to better transition back to the C minor, because this whole thing is in C minor. Let's pull the piano out here. So essentially all we're doing here is a C minor chord, going up to an A flat major over C, and then down to an A flat major, specifically an A flat 2. So it's just pretty cool. And hey, thanks. I've been working on my camera gear upgrading here, and I've experimented that I think 1080p looks better than 4K. What? And I think that's just because of the speed. 4K is just slower, and it's not really worth it for streaming. But I am using 4K now on my DSLR for my YouTube videos, for the published ones, because there's no lag, right? I can edit with that, but so look out for that on the YouTube videos. Anyway, I'm glad you think it looks better. I definitely agree with you. And I love having this new the Shure SM7B microphone with, finally got it, the Rode PSA-1, which is this microphone stand, which swivels. It's pretty epic. It goes up and down too. Crazy. Literally just installed that like 5 minutes before the stream, so this is me testing it out. Anyway, back to the show. Aha. And hey, what's up, Carlo? So glad you're here, part of the channel. So here's what we're going to do. I want to take my track, and this is super fun and easy. Let's just do 4 bars at the end, because what's happening here, you'll notice I write all my chord progressions at the top of the screen so you guys can follow along. What I'm doing here is a C flat. C flat. Who uses C flat? C minor over E flat. Then F2. Then C minor proper. D minor 7. And Peter, I have to confess that I've been playing a lot of the Final Fantasy VII Remake recently. And that's obviously Nobu Uematsu is the original composer for FF7, but Hamauzu, who is also the composer of Final Fantasy XIII, bunch of other stuff. He's had his hand all over the Final Fantasy series, but his music is very jazzy. It's like really thick 9th and 11th chords. And I think just having that kind of in my, mindset and in my atmosphere, just playing that game for who knows how long now, like 40 hours, just hearing those chord progressions, it's more natural for me to extend my harmony into. I just love that. I love that. That's where my brain is at recently. And it just made writing this a breeze, and it's very beautiful. And I think it's cool. Peter says, loving this Snowy Peaks track, but rest in peace, the original as well. Like you said, stellar for a dev writing for himself. Yeah. And yeah, Hamauzu is just, he's one of my new favorite composers. I know he's been around for a while, and he's not young. He's probably just as old as Uematsu. But yeah, it's just crazy that he's just kind of now emerging, or maybe I've just been living under a rock and haven't noticed. Because I didn't like Final Fantasy 13, so it's hard to love music for a game I don't like. But many herald that as one of the best, but also many hate it. So it is what it is. Anyway, pretty cool. I'm glad you hear that, Peter. Yeah, the neo-romanticism is pretty spot on. So anyway, so we have this chord progression where we're ending on. I feel the need to end on a C5. So my marker is going to put a C5. Now a C5, or a 5 chord, is different from a major or a minor. It just means that it's an open fifth, and you're not going to establish tonality by doing a major or a minor triad. So it's not C minor, it's not C major, it's just C5. Holy chocobos. Peter, you've never played Final Fantasy X? Where are you? That is not okay with me. We can't be friends till you play Final Fantasy X. Fun fact about the Tues Thurs track, the main theme of Final Fantasy X, is that piece of music modulates every bar, or maybe it's every 2 bars. It's absurd. That's one of the most rich harmonic pieces of music I've ever heard in my life, and I think there's a reason why people love it so much. But it literally changes key every bar. It's almost impossible to write sheet music for. I mean, obviously it exists, but it's like you can't even call it a key. It's like supposedly an E minor, but it's fabulous, just fabulous. And yes, my chocobo and hat just told you off. So here we go. So anyway, totally just threw me off there, Peter. Thanks. This is easy. This is what I call vamping. This is what you do in musical theater when you just want to hold a chord out for a long time. I have to apologize for my hair today. I don't know why I'm just like sweating bullets. Actually, I do know why, because I just lifted really heavy objects in the house, moving some furniture around, and then I said, let's go stream. So that's my life. So sorry if I look like I just ran a marathon. I feel like it. Anyway. God, quarantine is more like it. I legit has probably gained 10 pounds. But that shall change soon. Because I used to go kickboxing. Did you know that? Fun fact about me? Lots of fun facts today. Love kickboxing. I haven't been able to do it, and so I've been like running, sort of. Trying to get by, but ugh. That's about it. I just want 4 bars that help a C5, something open. That's really all you have to do here. One of the easiest ways to vamp is to pick the chord that you want to stay on, in this case, C, a C5, and then just hover between a C5 and a C suspended 4, which is just going from a G to an F. G, F, G, F. Scott, I didn't notice your hair status. This is my disheveled artist look. My starving artist look. Although I suppose it's quite the opposite. I'm not starving. I probably had too much food recently. Cool. Let's do that. Cool. And that's going to loop marvelously. So let's quantize that to eighth notes. I gotta get used to this microphone. It's a little... Aha! There we go. Not used to facing left while talking right. I'll have to work on that. I'm so used to a static microphone stand that you just kind of get used to. But anyway. Yeah, Thomas, kickboxing is flipping amazing. Oh my gosh, it gets so much stress out. This is not me necessarily advocating for kickboxing, but there's something about it that it's very intense and aggressive that you burn like 800 calories when you do that for half an hour or whatever. It's just really good for you. Get to punch stuff and kick stuff. It's so much fun. Well, kickboxing is boxing, obviously punching, but it's with your feet too, and you're doing round kicks and the whole 9 yards. Lots of burpees. Lots of burpees. I don't think I've done a burpee in like 2 months. True story. Yeah, we all like those open fifths and sus chords. That is the making. If you want to be a film composer in particular, you better learn how to do that. Cool. So let's take this piano, little triplet thingy. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see if we can find a good range for it. There we go. That's it. But will it loop? Let's find out. Since I don't stop this pulse the entire track, it's all eighth notes, bum, 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 or 16th notes in 6/8 time. I never break it. It's never loud in the mix, but I never break it. So I don't think stopping is going to serve the track well here at the end. Ooh, I got off here. Cool. That's it. Always remember that when you're doing piano, that you stop the pedal at the end of a loop. Otherwise, it's going to follow you into the loop and screw up your MIDI data. So there it is. You see that there at the bottom? I just drew it in right before. If you do it at the bar line, it's too late. So do it right before the end of the bar line. You might have to hold Control on your keyboard to do it. That's it. Aha, see there? How the pedal did not get cut. So not that it matters because I'm going to export this and combine it separately anyway. It's really not a big deal. There it is. And aren't you proud of me, guys? I wrote an entire snow track without using bells tambourines or freaking sleigh bells. I did it. I broke the curse. I don't know. I'm very partial about this end. I wonder if we don't need piano at all. Maybe horns or something very somber in the background, heroic, can help. Hey, what's up, Jacob and Pan? Okay, I have a confession. Not a confession, but a realization to make. I'm pretty darn sure that Final Fantasy XII, if anyone cares, Final Fantasy XII, that entire soundtrack was composed using the VSL instruments, the Smart Orchestra instruments, because these sound identical to that soundtrack. It's crazy because I've been writing for these with these particular patches for the last few streams. Just sounds exactly. Does anyone else agree with like? Like they're just these really sloppy strings that have really bad attack. Like I can't tell the difference of all the string patches I've used and horn patches. I just have a very strong feeling that that's what they used. I always love like spotting samples in the wild, and of course this was like 15 years ago when that soundtrack was made, which is why VSL is like one of the only ones that's been around that entire time. And they're very low memory plugins. Something like that with like a suspension might be cool. Yeah, that's it right there. So all I'm doing is I'm trying not to overbear this moment because it's supposed to be calm, and perhaps the energy of the piano is too frantic. But having this little moment of rest to breathe and then get back into the little ostinato with the piano will be a nice little breath. Breath is everything. Silence is everything. I like that a lot. Let me play it one more time. So rhythmically, bottom, F, G, D, F, da, da, I'm going to go with my gut on this one and have a little bit more motion. I like that. That's going to be good. All right, so let's get that quantized in there. Wherever it's living, way back here. And I like the staggering boom, bum, boom, bum, bum, boom, bum. Helps to create a little bit of a pulse in the middle of an otherwise calm moment. You know what else is very interesting? These last few tracks that I've written, would anyone else agree that my music is starting to sound like Final Fantasy Tactics, which is the same composer who wrote for 12, which I think is an interesting link between all of that. 'Cause I played Final Fantasy Tactics finally last year, after all these years. Absolutely adored it and played the junk out of it. I just feel like my music is starting to lean in that direction, which I think is really cool. I never would have thought that about my writing. I'm going to turn down those piano delay. They're a little sharp, like bright, too bright. I like having them in there. Here it is without it. I'd love to know your opinions of if you think I should keep the piano or take it out. Here it is without. And here it is with it on top. I like it. And a quick comment from Carlo, who says, I think Chapter 13, I think he's referring to Final Fantasy Tactics, he says it's the most controversial, but the battle theme is one of the most beautiful ever. Yeah, that game's so good. Aha, I know what this needs. It needs just a little brush of the cymbal. Been doing these each of the section changes. I think that's going to help bridge the gap. Yep. Ooh, that little horn thing at the end. It's so, it's like, it feels so good. And it, even though it's a slight stretch out of the tonality, the to kind of sneak that in there, to make it a C2 chord, I think it works. And it's simple enough that it helps to unify everything. So cool, let's export this thing. This is actually going to be Snowy Peaks, version, I don't even know what version it is anymore. I think it's 4. I like to keep track of all the versions. And notice I'm extending the bar here, the looper bar, way beyond the reverb tail. That way it can catch it all. All that juicy goodness right there. I want to capture that. I want to keep it And maybe if we have a time at the end of the stream today, I will show you guys how I create loops out of all these. But here's how I export it. So this is ms_snowy peaks version, what we say, 4. And I export it as a single track, as a stereo out, wave 48K, bit depth 24. That's the highest that I like to do. Especially for like 16-bit music like this, there's no purpose in exporting anything higher than 48K. But that's the wave file I like to have. That way, when I throw it into Audacity and everything, I can turn it from an OGG file, like OGG file. And then also, I can export it as an EP3, which will loop 3 times, and then fade out in the last one. And I can show that if you guys are interested at the end. I have to do it anyway. But if it doesn't get too late, we'll do it. So, I think we're ready to move on to the next track. Let's take a 1-minute coffee break. Let me see if this even works. Check it out. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I wanted to test it out. I was testing out my coffee break scene within Streamlabs OBS, and apparently you didn't even hear anything I said, and I figured out why. This is weird. This is just kind of an issue, a small issue for any of you who use Voxingo Recorder in your streams. I'll show you real quick over here. So Voxingo Recorder, this thing, you have to have it on as a plugin if you want anyone to hear your audio from your DAW. But the only problem is when you export your track, it actually plays the music back when Cubase otherwise would not. And so here I am talking and you couldn't even hear me because this was running in the background. So if you guys want to mute that, you just literally hit stop while you're exporting and then hit start again. And then your music will play just fine. So there you go. Little tip today. And while we're loading some stuff up here, give a quick little shout out. Notice right over here. Oh, that's so cool. My finger doesn't go on top of it. Oh well. You'll notice that I have a sub goal for the channel here. We got 11,853. So we are 9% away from getting to 13,000. If we can do that as a community next 10 days by 6:15. I will do a special VGM piano stream for you guys where I just take requests and we play and we have fun. That's something I used to do quite a bit and I miss it and it's going to be a lot of fun to do it, but it also takes a lot of time and energy to do that. So I think it'd be a fun little subscriber goal here. And so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment, hit the like on this live stream, by the way. That helps YouTube throw this to other people in their recommended feeds. And then number 2, if you have not subscribed and hit the little notification bell, I would appreciate that because then you know when I hop on here every Tuesday and Thursday. Anyway, let's get back to the music. So next up we have Sun Palace. So the original track that we have as a reference that is currently in the game sounds like this, if I can find it. I'll have to pull it up in my DMs real quick. It's actually not publicly available. There we go. Let me actually add it to my folder real quick. Nope, you don't want to see that. That's not good. La la la. I don't speak Japanese. What's that guy saying? I hope those are nice words. Guys, I'm on the struggle bus here today. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to There we go. Now we're in business. Okay, let's check out the Sun Palace track. That's the next one we're going to be working on here today. Here's the original that many of you are already familiar with in the game, but today we are making a new one. But here's the reference. Okay then, cool. So that's the reference that we have to work with here today. So story behind this track. So as I mentioned earlier in the stream, there are a handful of tracks that we're talking with, me and the developers talking about, okay, what would be some really good tracks to try and create some new ones, like create some redo tracks. Not that the old ones are bad, because they're not, but they're some of these old tracks, like that one was only a minute long, and all the other tracks in the game were 2 minutes long. And obviously, I've used completely different instrument sets and all that kind of stuff. So the goal here today is to create something in a similar vibe. And I sense that we should really hover in like a minor 9 tonality harmonically. I think it's going to give us what we want. And then let's try throwing in some harp, because I've actually never used harp in this entire soundtrack, but this might be a good place to do it. So the Sun Palace, let me see if I can pull up. This will only take a second. On the YouTubes, just a little bit of gameplay footage of the Sun Palace. I think it'd be a good visual for everyone to see what we're working with here today. So you can see how it's very colorful, very bright. Lots of puzzles to solve. Oh, this guy is always in his menu screen. There we go. But you can get the gist of it. So it's basically a giant temple. Very light, very golden looking, very regal looking. And I feel like the music does some justice to that, but I'd love to see what else we can do to really harness the power of the sun, shall we? I think that'll be good. I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to refresh my YouTube page, because it says that 8 people are watching, but that is not true. I'm trying to get used to there we go. There's a more accurate. It says 22 people. That's a little different than 8 YouTube. Go with the program. Yeah, I have to get used to YouTube, guys. It's not a great place to stream, but it is where you guys are, and it is my favorite platform. So I'm just have to learn all the little weird ins and outs of how to master the YouTubes. But anyway, let's make Sun Palace here. We're going to make a new track. Notice I label it with my markers. What I want to do is find a good tempo and time signature. I believe that one was it's 4/4, so let's get those the same. Our last track was not in 4/4, so there we go. 4/4 tempo. So let's make that over here our tempo track. What you laughing at, Scott? What you laughing at? Let's make this, I don't know, 80 beats per minute. Too slow. How about 100? So what I really want to base this tempo off of is a harp line. So I'll pull up a harp instrument in a second, but I'm thinking slower, but let's put an eighth note delay on it. Or 16th note delay. So let me get a 4/4. Click, 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 click. Which is actually faster. Is that 94? Take it. Cool. I've gotten pretty good at guessing tempos these days. All right, so let's start just with that. I want to get a harp out here. And since this VSL world has been really serving me well, we got the Synchron player. Until this soundtrack, I've never found a good use for these instruments. So this would be the harp. I've never used a harp from them before, so we'll see if they even have one. They must, because they have all of the orchestra. I could be totally wrong. There's one in Contact if I can't find one. I have no idea. I can search, I think. I don't want a harpsichord. Nope. Looks like we're going into Contact land. There we go. They have one in the Contact factory library. Right here. And in the orchestra, in the percussion. Or probably in strings. There it is. Harp. Hooray! Just make sure we turn off all the reverb. There it is. There it is. That's going to be gorgeous. Let's just use it as is. Bum, 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 bum. I love putting like a little sub melody in there where it changes every 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what is that? So there's 16th notes. So it's the 1E and If we're counting 1E and times 4 is 16. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and So on the of each. But now I have to figure out the tempo. That's too fast. Brainstorming here. Go back to my tempo track. Let's make it, 88. Bum, 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 too fast. 80. Bum, 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 bum. Wow. I have to go way slower to get that. Well, whenever you're doing with 16th notes, it's best to go to a slower tempo. Bum, 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 bum. Wow, this is slowing down by the second. Bum, 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 bum. Let's do 66 and call it a day. So here we go. Let's get this thing in there. 1 bar free. And I'm going to put in my markers track. The section will be intro. Give it 4 bars. A section. That's where the melody will come in. Let's put it in. See what happens. Let's see. This is a giant A minor 7 chord, by the way, which I will put. I like to always have my chords. That way, when I start playing other instruments, I know exactly what I did. I don't have to guess, and I can write so much faster. You kind of just make an idea and run with it. That's my strategy. Ooh, that's not going to work. I have to do A twice. Here we go. I think I want to do an E flat instead of the E natural that I just chose, but at least we have notes. So let's think this through for a second. If we're going to do a descending minor bass line, so for an A minor 7, then go to F major, so again, what I did was a minor 7, an F major 7. I kept it all minor chords, so A minor 7, F major 7. Let's get that in there. I'll just do one more pass of it now that I know what I want. F major 7, D minor 9, back to the A minor 7. That way it's always an A minor chord, which is A, C, E. That's always up there in the top. So it's an A minor, F major, D minor, A minor. That way it keeps that chord always moving in our ears, but it lets the bass line shift, and by the time we add, I don't know, some long strings or something, it's going to help solidify it. So here we go. Be a little tricky with the placement. Sounds good to me. So that sounds really cool when we get a flute involved. Repeats. Cool. I like that quite a bit. Bum, 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 bum. That sounds really cool with strings. We turn that down a little bit. Also keeps a great pulse in the background. That way I don't have to have my my click on all the time. So let's see what else we can add on top of that. Probably strings would be a good choice here. Final Fantasy IV. Get out of here. Isn't that Hunger Games? Is that Rue's theme? Man, these strings sound exceptionally good. And I picked them because they sound cheesy. And yet they just keep wowing me. I've just never been a VSL person, but some of these patches are stellar. It can't be creepy. I like that little... It's only 2 notes, isn't that cool? 2 notes can be very expressive. So let's see where that might fit. Cool. Get more I don't understand why I can't see your comments. Let me... There it is. There it is. Hey, what's up, David? Oh, YouTube. Come on. There's a lag. That's really good. Now, as cool as this is, I just feel like it might just be drowning the harp, so it may not be a good fit, but it still sounds really pretty. And David, welcome to the stream. If you want to rewind back to the beginning of this stream, the first 5-10 minutes, we talk about why I've dabbled in Twitch and why I'm now permanently going to be on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want the full explanation, go watch that, and then skip back to live if you want to hop back in here. I love those strings, but I just don't know. Let me X those. Now, one of the key elements of the original was it had a choir. It had the ha, 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 ha. I do have my own choir pad that I've been using for the whole soundtrack. It's much more of like a Metroid style choir. Very synth. That song might be kind of cool. Something like that, like little stabs. That's so cool. Okay, what do you guys think about this choir stabs? With the delay, it sounds really cool and creepy and weird and fantastic. Oh, you want to try an octave lower? Cool. Let's do it. Good call. Good call. Maybe I should do them half as often. Like this. That's really cool. Let's see what it sounds like really low. Come on. Just butchered that. This might be cool with low piano stabs too. Let's try it, shall we? Yes. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so ominous. But the harp is light. Okay then, I think we have ourselves a very nice entry point. That sounds really cool. It's a nice blend of dark and light, which is like the whole point of the game, right? It's like just enough information to make us feel like what's about to happen, right? Let me blend these together. Check my chords here. Yeah, I don't want the double. But that's pretty cool right there. Just cleaning up what we have so far. So this is the intro, this is the A. No, that's there. Let's get a few more chords in here. Great suggestion, Lucian, to move the choir down an octave. So bum 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 bum. So it's F major 7, and then D minor 7, then back to A minor 7. Sounds really cool. And then let me make sure the harp is quantized properly. These are all 8th notes. No, they're not. They're 16th notes. Robin, let's see. We are scoring the Sun Palace, which is this thing right here. This is from Monster Sanctuary. So yeah. Oh, interesting. You hear Claire de Lune. I'm very inspired by Debussy and Chopin, both pianists, classical pianists. I mean, Claire de Lune's not that different. Let's see. Dang it, it's been so long. I mean, Chopin is, Debussy is all minor 7s and minor 9s. That's really the origins of jazz, is Romanticism and French Impressionism, which is really fascinating if you study the history of music development. That harp is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. It's right that perfect range. So the original was... where he just went back and forth between an A minor 7 and a C major. But I feel like the C major doesn't really fit the vibe. It's a little too happy, I think. David says, oh, I see the Twitch thing. Will you upload to YouTube the videos that you have on Twitch before those disappear from there? I'm not planning to. I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't do too many videos on Twitch. I think I did. I'm about a month's worth, so it's like 8 to 10 videos. If we go catch them before they disappear, go check them out. But it's the first handful of episodes of the Boar Night, mostly, and I think there's 1 or 2 Monster Sanctuary streams on there. But that's just one of the reasons I don't have the time or energy to want to have to save all my, download them and re-upload them, and it's less quality and just all of the nonsense that takes. Don't care. So, moving on. I'm just gonna do things properly here, do it the right way. Let's write a string line around the material we have so it's not too thick. It's too easy to do thick. That's way too extreme. Turning that down quite a bit. See what else we can sneak in there. I like this idea of having the harp have its own, like, a couple bars in between sections. Like that. Now, the only challenge here is the velocities change quite a bit. So let's get the chords in, and then let's take all the velocities, crank them up to 100, and then bring them all down equally. What I've chosen to do here is have low velocities, but higher volume. So the volume over here for the strings is like -3 dB, which is pretty loud, but I'm having a soft dynamic because the velocity is low. So that's just kind of a workaround to get them all to still be expressive and we can still hear it and all that good stuff, right? I think having that pulse in the background of the delay choir with the piano that's dark really helps to add character. And the thing is, I haven't even added a melody that I'm not even sure if I want to. But I do like that they had, in the original, the flute. I might try it with oboe. Scott says, with your mixer thing, seems to me that there aren't enough sliders for the total amount of instruments. Is there some sort of option where you can move which slider is what? Yes. So he's referring to my BCF control fader thingy. I can't really show it on screen at the moment, but it's a giant brick about this big that it only has 8 channels on it, little fingers that I can move up and down if I don't want to use my mouse. And yeah, there's a little button on there. I can shift to the next 8. That way you can keep doing 8 as many times as you need. And it attaches to your DAW as a MIDI controller. Pretty nifty. I don't use it as much as I like, as I should. But I could use it more. Hey, what's up, Shord? Thanks for hopping in here. I'm glad you could join. Let's do, since we're just on this VSL train, really seems to be the right direction for a lot of these orchestral tracks. My battle tracks are way more electronic, so it's a nice blend. So let me let's see if I even have a flute in here. Maybe. I may not. Let me go back to Contact. And these are all free samples, by the way. You guys probably already have access to these in the, if you own Contact, it's the factory library. There's an entire VSL section in here. See, if you go to Orchestral and go to VSL, VSL Woodwinds, these things are fantastic. I mean, they have a 16-bit style. So I'm going to add a reverb to that. This is a default Cubase reverb. And yeah, Thomas, these are all free. It's from the factory library. So that's what I was just talking about. Flute is not the right instrument for this. I really feel like oboe is. So let me just mute him out because I've never used it. Yeah, Robin, the harp is VSL as well. This is the free kind that comes with Contact. It's for free. Cool. Let's make that a prime for my section. That's a really easy thing to copy. So all I'm doing here is chopping up those bass low notes. I think I see. No, I want the harp to have its own measure all by itself. Especially with all this extra stiff. So let's chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, suey. There it is. There's a prime, and then 2 bars. And then this is where we're going to put the B section. So let's listen to what we have so far. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Enjoy. All right, I'm back. So let me answer some questions here real quick. Yes, Robin. So the harp is VSL as well, so that free patch. And yeah, Shword, how I say your name, by the way? You have a cool name. Is it Russian or Icelandic? Most Icelandic names have a J in them. And you have to pronounce the J with a V, Svord or Jord. Anyway, yeah, so those samples come with Contact when you buy full version Contact. Big fan of doing that. Let's see. Svord said, to know if you discussed this, but how extensive are your briefs for gigs like this? Do you discuss with your lead about things like track duration, instrumentation? Yeah. So at this stage in the project, I'm at the very end of the project. So there's far less discussions to have. But anytime you have a relationship with a client, at the very beginning, there's a lot of talking before you write any music. And that's where you discuss all the things like reference tracks and how many tracks you want, the instrumentation, all the things, right? And once you're kind of in the heart of the project, that's when you can start adding on some additional tracks, as we're doing right now, because we technically finished the project about 2 weeks ago. But here we are and still writing music because discussions have continued about, hey, what if we were to replace this track? What if we were to redo this track? I'm pitching some things. The game devs are reaching out and they're pitching ideas, and it's a giant discussion. Sometimes I write demos and they don't go anywhere, and that's okay. But the more you work on a project, the more comfortable and confident you get. And obviously, the more you work with a particular client, the more they're going to trust you, and the more you already know what to do. As you're about to find out in the next track we do right after this today, I'm going to start a new battle theme. And for that one, it's me pitching an idea without talking to the devs, which is totally different than like the Sun Palace where they pitched it to me. And it's just a conversation, And you learn as you go, and everyone has their own process. Oh, it's Dutch. Cool. It's like shoe plus RD. Should. Cool. Am I saying it right? So should. I don't speak Dutch, clearly. I wish I had recorded that one. That was a good pass. Oops. That was correct, but all of this, all of these guys, I need to move over one bar, it looks like. What did I do? Because strings come in at the same time. Oh, I get it now. Okay. The strings need to come in one bar later. Because that's the bar that I made space for the... There we go. For the harp. Do you know what this needs? It needs a cello. Lower range. Where are you at? My synth cello. My instruments are so screwed up. Okay, here's the easy solution. Delete. Delete. Copy. I don't know why that's so screwed up. There we go. I get it now. Okay. So there is an extra bar here we don't need. Yes. Extra 2 bars. I think I got it right now. Math is so hard for me today. Okay, there. It would help if I quantized my stinking oboe here, because it's off the beat and it's making my chopping not perfect. So it's just editing at this point. So all I did is I duplicated it, but I'm trying to make space to have one empty bar here in the middle for the harp. Because this is more or less an intro, and I should probably, that's exactly what's going on. This is screwed up because I forgot to label this as an intro. Now it makes sense, because that's a 2-bar intro, and then I can copy over the A section. But here, this is like a 1-bar interlude, which kind of it acts like the intro. And Rilvanar, yeah, I've been here for an hour and a half already, hour and 45 minutes. So yeah, rewind, woohoo! You can go watch the Snowy Peaks. We're on Sun Palace, and after this, we're doing a battle theme. There we go. That's going to be the B section. So let's get an idea out for the B section. What shall we do? Sure. Yeah, chord markers is so important. And the reason I've never done them before Cubase is because there are no other DAWs that allow you to do multiple marker tracks. That's one of the coolest things about Cubase is you can do as many folders as you want and subfolders, and you can do as many marker tracks as you want. So I literally have a tracks marker, a sections marker, and a chords marker, and that way I can color code each of them and just drag them up and down and very quickly coordinate all my things, which is why I can do the entire soundtrack in this one session. Check it out. Whoa. It's like an hour and a half of music right there. And so if I want to find a previous track to go work on it, I'm going to scroll through, look at the red. I can go find any of them and go work on it. And some of these are just ideas. They're not all finished tracks, but I think it's a really good way to write music. We just found a timpani line that really helps to make it feel like a tempo, don't you think? We'll do it at the A section. I don't know if I kind of like the space of not having it certain measures. So let me do the same line, but be way simpler. Yeah, we'll have to tame the Nightbot. At least I told it to shut up about you guys doing all caps and emojis and stuff. I'll fix it later. Let's see if some strings might help. But let's turn it down. Ha ha ha, Chatterbots. It's a true. really feel like just doubling the timpani and the strings pizzicato is going to help give it the low bassiness it needs to carry it through without being overly, low-ended. I love oboe. Yeah. I think that sounds so good and so simple. Simple always wins. And notice I'm not using 72 layers on top of it. I could. It doesn't help though. Now, to help better make this more of the Monster Sanctuary sound, I do want to try to get maybe the synth bell in there somewhere, because that's a very typical sound in here. All right, Scott asks, is there a way within Cubase to have multiple articulations on a single track, like long strings and pizzicato strings in the same track? There is a way to do that. I don't care to do that. There was an old plugin for Logic. I'm sure it exists for other DAWs. It's called Articulation Switcher. I did a review. It was my very first review video on YouTube, actually. That was many years ago. By... what's their names? I totally forgot. They've changed company names, so whatever. It's Articulation Switcher Pro. If it still exists, go check it out. If you're on Logic, it definitely is for Logic. But what it does is it allows you to take one channel and then put as many articulations you want into that one instrument channel. It's really cool software. You can do that with Kontakt by just having a multi, build your own multi and then make each of the instruments within the track have a different channel. And that way you could have like 16 MIDI channels attached underneath the folder of the MIDI track or underneath the instrument track. And that way you could very easily switch. And it is technically, when you sum up the folder, that one track is all the articulations summed together. It's very possible. I don't like that at all, so I haven't explored how to better do that. And I don't know many people that would love that more than just having separate control, but you do what you got to do. But I understand for the purposes of writing sheet music, you probably want to combine them all together. But in that case, why wouldn't you do something like this? Like if I wanted to write for a real string player, I would take this strings line, legato, and strings shorts. And let's just say I had that line right there. So what I would do here is I would actually select both, hit the merge, the glue tool. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, no, just do this. I just stack them. So I'm not doing a very good job explaining. So I were to take this harp line and put it on top. See how it's all slashed lines. And then I could right click and go to my glue. And now they've all become one. And then I can export just that MIDI track that has combined all of them together. And that way, my MIDI track that I put into Sibelius or Finale or whatever, it now has them combined. Does that help? Probably not how you want. I mean, that's kind of what key switching is, as Will mentioned. Man, Nightbot, shut up. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me fix Nightbot real quick while this plays, and I'll be back. there you go. There you go, Will and Scott. No more Nightbot yelling at you. I hope. It'll still show up like links and stuff, but it's not going to happen nearly as often now. Hooray. I put it was on 2 lines, which means every time there's 2 lines of chat, it would say something. Whoops. And a certain time frame. But now I bumped it to 8 lines. So maybe that'll slow it down a little bit. There you go. There's an answer from Nicholas. In Logic, if you use stock plugins, you can right-click and change articulation per note in piano roll. That's pretty cool. I fear that if I try to do anything that is too busy, it'll be rejected. And that's not what we want. We want simple, poignant, very intentional choices. I like this. I think it really sings. But here's what we need to really get into the Monster Sanctuary soundscape for this A prime, the repetition. Let's double it with a synth flute and possibly some others like a synth bell. Let's see if that helps. That doubling. Now let's double it with the synth bell. Good to me. A synth bell by itself is not great, but when you double it on top of woodwinds, something about it that's just so iconic to the soundtrack. And if you didn't know this, perhaps it's your first time watching a Monster Sanctuary stream. At the very beginning of this project, my co-composer assistant Peter and I built an entire Contact library. Since then, we've added, as you can see today, more orchestral elements, which are from VSL. But everything else in here, they're custom massive samples that we built and Contact samples that we built from scratch. So I always want to represent those in some way, even if it's on top of the orchestral new stuff, to give this consistency between the entire game soundtrack. Since we were brought in about halfway in of the game's development, it's hard to carry on without replacing some things. So that's kind of my strategy here. And yes, Scott. Hey, what's up, Diamond? Welcome. Finally caught a stream. And Scott, yeah, piano is so important. I don't think everyone has to learn it as a composer, but if you can, you should. It does help that my degree was in piano performance. So I played classical music 6 hours a day for years. And of course, leading up to that as well. So that was my route, which turned into video game music, which turned into a career as a composer doing all types of media. So yeah, I definitely rely on my chops because I worked my butt off to get there. Many of you are better on guitar or on percussion or whatever, but you can make it doing any instrument. You just pick something and stick with it, and get good at it. And yeah, this is actually an Axiom. Hey, what's up, Jazz Dude? This is a Axiom 49. It's nice and small right here. I'm going to post a link for you real quick. If you're interested, Jazz, you're asking about my Axiom. I get that question every single stream. I just need to have like a button that I push that this link shoots out. But I'm going to my YouTube channel real quick, and I'm going to link you to... Let me pop it in here. Go check out this video. I just did a studio tour where I show off all of my instruments and gear and everything. And something I talk about a bit is my Axiom controller. So you might enjoy that. Anyway. This little timpani, this is super subtle, but I want to extend this one note so it doesn't cut off as abruptly. This is good. I just need to add some cymbals. Or that'll do. Between each section. Like here. Okay. My trick here is to always take cymbals and to chop them into quarter notes. Sounds good. And now I can copy and drag that across to every section change. This is why markers are so powerful, because now all I have to do is look for the next golden marker and then put that there, and now it'll automatically connect each of my sections seamlessly like this. And just keep doing that for each of the gold markers. There's only one more and it's right there. So for this B, let me actually measure this out real quick to see how much of a song we have left to do. Of a track. It's not a song, it's a track. So the intro starts. Let me show you what I'm seeing here on my screen. So down here in Cubase, in every DAW, you can see the time code. So my time code is 1:21:20. So I want to get this to a 2-minute track, so it needs to be 23:20. So let's scrub all the way till it says 23:20, which is right there. Put a marker, 2-minute loop. And then I can drag my looper bar all the way to that point, and now I know exactly how much more music to write. And there it is. And so it's not that much more. That's probably a double B. So let's count the number of measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 measures. So that's not even. So what I am going to do is make it 16. So it's 19, 18, 17, 16. I've been given explicit instructions to not extend things unless absolutely necessary. It does not have to be 2 minutes. It just needs to be even. So what that means is 2 8-bar phrases. So B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me drag my B. It's going to be B prime, which just means a repetition. And there it is. So I'll write something, copy it, and we'll have ourselves a loop, which is very good musical development anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a little interesting that I wrote 6-bar phrases. I don't typically do that. This A section is 6-bar phrases with a 2-bar intro, a 1-bar intro here. Yeah. Sometimes music doesn't have to be exactly 8. Which is pretty cool. Another question. Man, I need to start bringing like 2 cups of coffee to these streams that are long like this. I have not quite mastered how to stream for 3 hours, but I'm working on it. It's a little taxing. But I really enjoy these, and I hope you do too. It gives me a chance to serve a lot of people. Okay, so Scott says, my brain keeps telling me that there should be more short timpani rolls leading into the first beat of every other measure. So like, boom. I can try it. Yeah, the timpani roll, it's called a tremolo. That's what you're referring to. You're talking about this thing right here. I can get behind that. Let's do it. Let's measure it out a little stronger than that. So let's make it an 8th note, like that. Now I can copy it every single time we have a section change, which is only twice. Here's what it sounds like together. Let me make sure my timpanis are at the same level, and they are. That's a great suggestion. Thanks for that, Scott. And then Nicholas says, isn't it taxing the computer to have the whole soundtrack in one session? Not at all. I have a very powerful computer. So this is, you want to find out with streaming included, how much CPU my computer is using? Let's find out. I always love doing tech shootouts. Performance. Okay. Granted, we're using 33% of my RAM, 42% of my CPU, but let's see what's actually stealing all of it. Cubase is only 12%. What else is stealing it? Windows Explorer, of all the things. How? I don't know. But who cares? Like, Mike, I would never use more than this unless, I don't know, if I like have a Steam game open while streaming and recording and playing music. I don't know how to overload my computer. I don't know how. But there's my specs right there if you care. I have an entire computer build video if you're interested on the Cheapy Cheap that I think is pretty fun and entertaining. If you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out. Gosh, do you know what I hear? Gosh, I've been playing way too much Final Fantasy. Let me get it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Hold on. Wait for it. That's what I keep expecting it to do. It's let's have some fun for a minute. Let's take a break. Let's grab strings with horns, with some dark piano. What else would sound good in this mix? I don't know. woodwinds. Where are you at? There's my woodwinds. Dang it, what is it? All right, guys, so here's my promise to you. If we can get to 13,000 subscribers in the next 10 days, I will do a VGM stream just like that, but way better. Because I'll get my camera set up to where I actually go over here to my real keyboard, an 88 key, and we'll just go to town. I can't reach half the notes that I want to play right now, but we'll like get all the VSTs loaded and everything. Not just piano, but like let's do the full orchestra and let's have a blast. That'd be so much fun. So if you've not subscribed yet to the channel, please do. Please share with your friends. I appreciate it. Drink that agua. It's good for you. All right, back to the show. I think it's really healthy to take little breaks like that. Not just like stopping, but play what inspires you. I am so inspired by Final Fantasy music, and I hope it shows. It's all over my music. It's undeniable. And sometimes you just need a brain dump like that to get it out of your system so that then you can move on to what you wanted to do. You know, the track you're supposed to do. It looks like in the midst of that, I screwed up my scroll lock. That's not good. There we go. All right. So what shall we do now with the B section? I want to make sure. Pretty sure I just like broke all of my key switches. Whoops. By doing my little madness there. Because this doesn't work now. See? Nothing works now. Great. Just great. Actually, I know what happened. There we go. Whenever you record enable multiple, it like then no longer automatically. You record enables unless you click on that little red button. It's one of those Cubase things that I learned. So now it's back to normal. Let me figure this out. I have an idea. That works. So, before I play, let's put in the chords. Actually, before I do anything, I'm closing out of Cubase. I'm going to take a 1 or 2 minute break so I can stretch. Be back. Bye. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back to part 3. We're going to finish out with some more fun stuffs here. There we go. Yep, Cubase totally locked up on me. It happens with every DAW after a certain amount of time. Once you've, I don't know, it's just part of it. Part of the shtick. Although my scroll lock is all kinds of messed up. For those who don't know, Cubase is the only DAW that has a backwards mouse scroll. It's ridiculously stupid. So I've downloaded the free X mouse button control, which allows you to, when you hold shift, change the scroll lock. Which is utterly ridiculous. But it works. So it looks like my scroll lock is on. So everything's scrolling backwards for me, which is why. Let me double check that. No. I looked for a solution for that for like a week when I first started Cubase, and I just couldn't believe how dumb it was. I love Cubase, but yeah, there we go. Did it work? There we go. Got it working. Just one of those weird glitchy things. Okay. But I can't work if my mouse doesn't work. Like, I just lose my mind. Anyway, back to the show. Yes, so I'm using Streamlabs OBS, so I just have different scenes set up. So that little coffee break was just a pre-selected scene that I have, but little breaks like that. Will says, a few days ago, I watched your contribution to the Spitfire competition. It was one of the best out of around the 50 you've listened to. I liked how you made your track really discreet. Well, thank you so much. I've been film scoring for a while, and I like to think that I'm better than I was when I started. And if you watched my live stream about the Westworld thing, if you go back to part 1, if you want to listen to it, how I broke apart the scene, having never watched the show, I've never seen the scene, and I didn't listen to the reference track on purpose. And I kind of explain my process behind that. The quickest way to sound like someone else instead of yourself is to listen to someone else. So I didn't want to get any influences from other people. I just wanted to do my own thing. And people have been very responsive about that. They're like, whoa, this is really different. That's what I hope. I hope I sound like me, you know? Anyway, let's get back to the show. Yeah, my scroll lock is all kinds of screwed up. I don't care. Let's write some music. I don't want to waste any more time. I'll fix it later. Anyway. So if you see me like scrolling the wrong way, it's because my mouse is backwards. Oh my gosh. It's like in games when, like in Mario Kart or something, or Super Smash, when they do, like someone throws an item at you and all of a sudden your controls are backwards and you're like losing your mind. That's how it feels right now. So I want to get this horn thing in there, but I wanted to write down the chords that I'm choosing. So I'm doing D minor 7, and I want to do these, I guess one measure at a time. Okay. H. Danny. Haven't been here for a year. Dude, eat a salad. What are you talking about? I ate before we started. I always have lunch before my streams. That way I don't die. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking here. I want to keep the same rhythmic pulse. Something like that. And it sounds like, yeah. I don't know what it sounds like. I'm just playing. So I'm going to talk a little bit less for the next few minutes so I can really finish this track, and we get to the battle track before we're out of time. Oh no, guys, you lost sound. Why didn't you tell me that this whole time? I'll tell you why. It's this Voxingo plugin. You guys hit that start button. If you restart Cubase, you got to turn it on. Sorry about that. This whole time, you guys, come on now. So I want to do D minor. So I want to keep the same 4 notes in the top part of the harp while moving the chord up. So it's going to be a D minor 7. So we're going to do like half measure chord changes. E minor 7, F major 7, G something. Just do a normal G. And then repeat that twice. Or I was going to say thrice, but quice. 4 times. It's a new word, quice. Quice. All right, we got our harp. We got the harp here. Guys, I do not like when my mouse does not work. I'm going insane. I have a metronome in my ears that you can't hear. But I like to think I can keep time. That's intentional, by the way. I don't think any of you need to hear my metronome. I think it's the most obnoxious thing on the planet to hear someone else listen to a metronome. That's hilarious. You don't think I'm using a metronome, but I am. But I turn it off. If I'm writing the very first instrument for a section, I use metronome, and I always try to choose the rhythmic instrument. So I'm using 16th notes. Da, 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 da. Then I write everything else to the track itself. But yeah, pretty interesting, huh? There we go. Anytime you can get a repeating phrase, it's really, really beneficial to your harmony. Let's just keep going. Or maybe I should go. Legend of Zelda style. Heck yeah, I'm going to do a modulation. Koji Kondo has taught me well. That's straight up Zelda's Lullaby. You're welcome. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Jacob. Hope you can watch the rest of the replay later to hear the battle theme. Oh, gross. What happened there? So I'm not going to quantize those, but I am going to quantize everything else. It's not good to quantize arpeggios, like glissandos, whatever they're called. What's my note? Ooh. Haha, you guys are very kind. I'll go for about 30 more minutes and I'll be done for the day. That's about 3 hours is the most energy I have to do one of these, to be totally honest. This is very high intensity. And then honestly, just to give you a little snapshot into my personal life, once I do a 3-hour stream like this, I'm so zapped that I'm done working for the day, which is fine. But I have to kind of prep myself for these. That's why I can't do them every day, nor should I, to be honest. But they're a lot of fun. So here's my thought process behind this little oboe line. I want to make sure that we're hitting this E flat chord, but I'm doing it way too late. So let me look at my chords up top. This should be the E flat. E flat major to a G. So we'll do a G there. So it'll be E flat major 7 or 9. We shall see. So let me go to my herp. The herpity herp. I'm glad you guys are having a good time. I've been working, honestly, for about a year to try to make live streaming engaging for something that is otherwise painful to watch. I mean, some people, they are boring watching them try to write music, but I really do try to make it engaging and answer your questions and stuff as we go. All right, so this is just garbage right here. So this is, let me think this through. If this is the third repetition, I'm a little confused about my own chords here. So if we have D minor. So E flat, D minor. That's what I wanted. Da, da, da. So it is going to be a G in the second half. D minor 7. Hope someone's following my logic here. This is a very Zelda thing to do. Let's not have a horror harp up in here, although it sounds cool. Like that. I can't get over how good that oboe sounds for something that is free. What? It's pretty crazy. But I guess that's not the free one. The free one is the harp. I want to slow down the pace here. Like that. And then do some more triplet type things. So I think everything up to that point will work. Da, 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 like that. So triplet, triplet, roll. So here we're going to do eighth note triplets. No, quarter note triplets. Probably one of those, something. Nope, eighth note triplets. Ay, ay, ay. There it is. There it is. Let's save all that. So I think we have a good idea here. That needs to be supplemented with some horns. Yeah, this oboe line's stupid. Doesn't work. Too low. Let's get the horns in. Here we go. Let's see how that works. And that could all be one B section, and I could do it twice, or I could just leave it there. I think it could work either way. I will likely do the one that's the least amount of work. I'm going to be totally honest with you. some plucks. Stick to the timpani vibe. Whoops. All right, let's quantize all of that. Very, very easy to do. 16th notes. It's done. I think I saw one wrong note in there. Let me double that with the pizzicato strings, which I think was a good combo earlier. It's just one line. I should also make a note here. These are all way too loud. I can probably just copy this and paste it down to the string pizzicato way below. Let's see what that looks like. So let's see how that feels as a loop. This mouse is driving me bananas, but thank you guys for bearing with me. So it might seem a little less energetic at the moment. This is driving me insane. Because every motion I make is backwards. But really the only way to do it is to probably restart my computer, which I don't care to do right now, because then I lose my stream. Cool. So let's go to the end of the track. Let's hear the loop. I should totally put the delay piano there. I'm happy with that. All right, guys. So for my sanity, and since we only have 20 minutes left, I'm going to pause there for the Sun Palace. I will come back to this another time. I want to sleep on this one because I like it so far, but I want to be more naturally inspired for the B melody. And I'll feel better about that if I hit it fresh on another day. But that's a good initial idea. I like it. So let's take this last 20 minutes. And what I want to do now is move on to a new battle theme. I want to actually pitch this to the team. They said something funny earlier today. They basically said, we don't need another battle theme in the game right now, but if you write something amazing, I think the word they used was phenomenal. If you write something phenomenal, then we might just have to use it. So, just maybe. Now, the reason I even want to write another battle theme is because this morning I just had an idea, and I think it would make an amazing battle theme for this game. So let's try, even if it's 20 minutes down the hole, whatever. It's still worth it. And I have a voice memo on my phone I want to play for you just to show you the beginnings of the idea and how I literally just went to a keyboard and played it and thought that would be really cool. So let's call this new battle theme. It's going to be a very quick sketch here today, but I hope it might spark some ideas and be a fun addition to the team. So let's play from the phone. See if I can pull it up real quick. Voice memo. Dude, voice memo is like the best app ever. Actually, I can do you one better. I can actually play it from my desktop because I downloaded them. So here are two little ideas I had to experiment with here for the battle. You have to pardon the awful quality, but it's just for my keyboard. So that's idea number one. Number two. Sorry, I'm like smashing your ears with that. But what a cool idea. Let me get the second one out first because I think it's easier to do. So let me just pick a random spot here. I'll even just put it right here. I'll even call it section B. Put it way down here because it's a really fast track. So I believe my tempo was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So also had a lot of changing time signatures. What I want to do is go like that. Sounds cool to me. So let's take that and mix it with this. Take it. So here, let's put it right on the beat. So this is bar 2451. 1.1.0. Tempo needs to be way faster. I don't even know, 160 maybe? 180? It's very fast. All right, let's do it. So we have both of these equipped. Let's have some fun. Okay. So the good news is I can edit one and then copy it over to the other. I'm glad you're looking into grabbing Cubase. It's such a good DAW. So these are all eighth notes. Junkin, 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 junkin. What is that? E, A, B, C sharp. A, B, C sharp. Then A. A little harder because I can't hear it. I know you can't either. A, C. Cool. I think it's a cool idea. It has a lot of similarities to the other battle tracks currently in the game. So we take that and double it down with the strings. Now we have ourselves a nice little intro. Alright, so this is all theme B. I just wanted to get it in there, hear what it sounds like. Sounds good to me. Now, let's go to the other idea we had, which was this one. So it's all G minor, I think. Same tempo, I think. One E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Same instruments. I love that. So I'm going to play this in 3 rounds. Ready? All eighth notes, all clean notes. Then the second round. Let's do it. I guess it was only 2 rounds. So I can play it with 2 fingers each. Take all of it, quantize, merge it. Have yourself a cool little intro. And then I think my little demo goes to 5/4, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Cool. 6/4. Bum, bum, dun, 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 dun. So let's put it in. It's going to be signature 6/4. How shall we do this? Cool, man. Power fists, whatever they're called, power chords are really fun to write in. So all of that, yeah, dun 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 dun. All 8th notes. No, they're not. They're 16th notes because they're syncopated. Sounds like this. It's a little tricky. I have a feeling that everything would match if I move everything over. Cool. So let's glue all that together. So fun. Probably way too loud, but you get the idea. This is intense. fitting for this game, but I kind of like where we're going with this. Love low piano double with strings. Too much, but let me dial it back. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, Thomas. I'm glad you like it. The rhythmic intensity. That's the whole point. One of the conversations I'm having with the devs is I feel like even with like the most epic tracks that we have in the soundtrack, there's nothing that really captures the dire, epic moments that I feel like need to be there. Alrighty. I think we got some interesting ideas here to work with. Lots of fun. Oh, all kinds of ideas flowing here. Some Genova vibes here. That's some spicy stuff right there. Haven't gotten that out yet. That's really fun. Something like that. Look at that. Oh, heavens. So those are all 16. This is when I get crazy at this point. Okay, we're reaching that point. that for this part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dang it. I'm trying to switch to 5/4 in my mind. So let's do it. And what I want to continue here, let's get rid of the bass line, but let's keep going with the kick. Because the cool thing about having a kick is that it helps keep everything constant, even if we change time signatures, which is why it's so valuable. Even something like this, going to a 6/4 to 5/4 doesn't matter if it's every beat. So let's do it. To 4/4 at this point. Something like that. Cool. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of this stream today. I am officially out of energy, which means we're done. But thank you so much for being a part. We got to finish Snowy Peak. Got to get like 3/4 of the way done with Sun Palace, and then got a nice little chunk done of this new battle theme. So it's a rather productive stream. Thanks, guys, for being a part. I'm going to wrap it up there, play what we have so far from the new battle theme as we close out. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you guys back here on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. Thanks for being a part. And as always, leave your comments in the replay and like the video. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this every Tuesday, Thursday streams, and Wednesday produced videos. So thank you, guys. This is a lot of fun, and I didn't get to reply to all of your comments, but Jazz Dude, keep rocking. I also love Rick Beato. Yeah, talking about him in the chat. But you guys rock. Have yourselves a fine weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for hanging out.